Blizzard, yeah. So
Did you watch the BlizzCon thing? I don't know if you're watching it live.
I didn't. I think that happened. Was
Friday,
it this weekend? Yeah. So we're just gonna sidestep. I think to tell the story, we should just sidestep the whole controversy and just kind of cover the games. I suppose.
No, you're right. Although I do have at the end a little blurb, just because Blizzard couldn't avoid the whole controversy with Blitzchung, right? So they did start it off with an announcement from the I want to say president of Blizzard, which was a very half-fast, like they didn't mention Blitzchung or the announcers that they banned or the reversement. Like they just kind of said, hey, we're trying to get better. I'll get it. We can get into that. But they did reference it at the beginning.
Nothing. That's literally nothing.
No, they didn't. I don't think they did that well. But anyways, they did announce a bunch of games and just news. For the exact details, I pulled up Jonathan Dornbush of IGN writes, every major BlizzCon 2019 announcement. BlizzCon opened its BlizzCon 2019 ceremony, not with an announcement, but with Blizzard Entertainment, J. Allen Brack speaking in light of the recent controversy that has struck up following Blizzard's actions in banning a Hearthstone player who spoke out in support of Hong Kong. Now, as far as the games go, we have Diablo 4 officially announced.
Did you watch that trailer?
I have not. I have it here queued up, but was it worth watching? What's going on there?
Well, I mean, Blizzard has always kind of been on the top of their cinematic game ever since the very first Warcraft, right? And this is a really good piece of cinema, right?
Gotcha. No, this is the CG. No, there was
the quickie at the start.
Oh, yeah.
There was gameplay. It's interesting. You're just gonna. It's 10 minutes long. You're gonna have to watch this off stream. Yeah. But it's it's a bit more classic from what I've been told. I never played Diablo enough to really know the difference between Diablo 1 and 2 and 3.
Yeah.
People say 3 was kind of cartoony. It was, I don't know. I know it like let you respec like any second of the day.
Okay. There was some controversy, at least from what I understand, with Diablo 4. It has some kind of online always component.
Yeah, so sort of like a Destiny.
Gotcha.
Right.
And they mentioned that they say that for the whole thing to proceed forward, they want that. The devs want that.
I can already realize that your teeny tiny laptop screen is already higher resolution than my personal computer screen because
Really?
This looks like I can already tell this is higher resolution than my computer screen. Either that or
that's just what it came with.
Yeah. I wonder what resolution it is. But yeah,
I want to say it's like 2K or something like that. It's not quite 4K.
Jesus Christ, yeah, I'm only 1080p. But yeah, it's very pretty. One of the big things people mention is they wanted the darker art style of 1 and 2, and this has that darker, more realistic art style. I personally didn't give a shit about that.
Gotcha.
That was not a big one for me.
So the gameplay, you want to see some like innovation or change.
The thing that excites me about this is Blizzard as a whole has very little competition. When it comes to you look at StarCraft, right? There's no RTSs to compete against.
Yeah.
You look at World of Warcraft. Yeah, there's a lot of MMOs, and they're fighting that very actively. But it's still World of Warcraft.
Gotcha.
What's their other games? Overwatch. They have competition.
Overwatch, yeah.
But
Hearthstone's a different kind of. Or League of Legends, I guess.
Well, Hearthstone especially has competition, so that's an interesting one. Especially with that new League of Legends card game that looks really good. But with Diablo, they not only have competition, but they have competition that people prefer.
Gotcha.
So Path of the Exile, people really like Path of the Exile. A lot of people like it better than Diablo 3. A lot of people pointed out that, Torchlight is more Diablo than Diablo 3 is. So they're kind of going a bit more back to their roots. It's also open world. It's non-linear.
That's what I was going to mention. Yeah, it looks like they're giving that vibe off of.
Yeah, which they've never done. And they have to, I think, to really compete against Path of the Exile and especially Torchlight 3. Because Torchlight 3... we've talked about it before. This is a game where you just go out and you be you until you get killed.
Gotcha.
So you're just pushing your limits, come back, spend money, upgrade, do whatnot, push your limits further. Just like really just go out and kick ass until the world stops you.
Gotcha.
And Diablo could definitely use a little bit of that. And
do a lot of these games now have like a roguelike influence on how they handle this whole thing, or is that
I don't believe Path of the Exile does.
Okay.
Diablo 3 may a little bit,
or at
in
least
some of their
now with
later
these newer
dungeons.
RPGs and stuff coming out.
Yeah, but definitely, to my understanding, Torchlight 3 it does have that procedurally generated environments, but it's
Now we're watching the gameplay trailer. This devil lady that they show, she can get it. She's awesome.
You gotta see the
about
trailer.
Her, she's
you gotta see the fucking trailer because her intro is just like, well, you're terrifying. And again, this is one of those ones where you love it when Diablo throws some good money behind a trailer. Like, I don't want to know how many millions of dollars it costs to make the Diablo 4 trailer. It is gorgeous.
Yeah, well, it was like 10. We didn't watch it. It was 10 minutes long, but so it's like a full, feature film or whatever. Like the budget, I imagine, with the CG involved.
Right, and the people watching it on my terrible TV screen or on my computer screen, they looked like real people.
Gotcha.
For the most part, like some people are a little bit more cartoony with their proportions, but like there's this one like priest guy that I'm like, that looks like a person.
I know with the CG reveal stuff or like announcement trailers, I never put too much like mental, energy in it because it's never like the gameplay. So I admire them, I like them, but it's always like, okay, I want to see how the game looks.
But that's part of Diablo though. Diablo has always had CG stuff. Warcraft has always had CG stuff, and they're finally doing that re-release of Warcraft. What the fuck was it? 3?
I think that's on here. There's some WoW announcements or like
no, not WoW. Warcraft.
Oh, okay, never mind. Gotcha.
So the classic RTS before World of Warcraft is getting a HD re-release, which people have been wanting. That's supposed to be a good game.
What do you mean? We got that awesome movie that was critically acclaimed and people dug with the. Remember that CG?
I hear it was actually okay.
Was it okay? It just like made $0, but okay.
Did it? Oh god.
Apparently it came and went, but.
Yeah.
So we got Diablo 4.
We gotta.
Now that's just some gameplay and announcements, but no set release date, right? Because they announced it's coming to PS4, Xbox One,
right?
PC, of course, but like no further information on a date.
Right. Oh, one thing I did like from what people are talking about playing it is every character. I don't know if this is the first time since like maybe I guess the Switch version had this and maybe console version, but every character has a dash. Okay. So fighting a boss, there's going to be a lot more like. Telegraphs, and it's going to be a bit more of an active fight.
Gotcha. More action-y.
I'm down for.
That gets someone like me who's playing Fortnite until the wee hours in the morning. Like that's what gets me. It's just a bit more action, just a bit more fast-paced.
And that's part of the reason I don't like these traditional top-down dungeon crawlers because I'm just like, I just click on the guy until he's dead, and I hammer all my buttons until the cooldowns are done. I'm like, that's not fun for me.
Right. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. That's why, and I've never been a Final Fantasy fan, but that new remake has that. Well, I don't know about the online, but like that remake, the FF7 remake,
7?
Has more of the action-y kind of option, and that kind of intrigues me.
You should see, the Final Fantasy MMO though has like that in like spades and like the boss patterns. Like, people trying to figure it out without using a walkthrough are just like, this is crazy, and it's really fun to watch. Anyway, we gotta
also
keep
don't
going.
give a shit about the storyline, so that's hard for me to jump in.
Right, exactly.
That's just me. I never clicked with the Final Fantasy though.
Overwatch 2 confirmed.
It was leaked a little bit, so Jonathan,
and they said today they have no idea when it's coming out. So good fucking luck with that.
Now, Jonathan Dorbush from IGN writes further about this too. But so Overwatch 2 confirmed. After some leaks suggesting a new era of Blizzard's hero shooter was on our way, Jeff Kaplan officially confirmed Overwatch 2 as the next chapter in the popular franchise.
But is it though?
Yeah, there's some weird overlap with like playing on the Overwatch 1 versus Overwatch 2. Yeah. Overwatch 2 will exist in a shared multiplayer ecosystem with Overwatch 1, allowing for players of both games to play on some maps and with the same heroes. Cosmetics will also carry forward to Overwatch 2. Overwatch director Jeff Kaplan says players of the original game will get a, quote, shared multiplayer environment where no one gets left behind, unquote.
People have, because of this, described it as an expansion.
That's I've heard some criticism where why isn't this just an expansion? Did they feel pressure to do like an official Overwatch 2? Why didn't they go the Fortnite, here's a Season 2 update kind of thing? I'm not sure. Because now, is this going to be a $60 Overwatch 2
I bet. I've also heard that some of these single-player co-op missions are kind of just okay.
Gotcha. No, that's a good point. So the sequel introduced new maps and characters like Toronto and Sojourn, respectively, while also introducing a new PvP competitive mode, Push, and a new story-centric gameplay. There's a story mode in this release, right? Would that be enough if that's fully fleshed out enough to justify Overwatch 2?
That's wholly going to depend on the reviews. Okay. Is it going to come back and people say this campaign was worth the campaign?
Right.
Or was it just kind of just fucking okay?
Like a cash grab kind of
thing. Right. I don't think it's going to be a cash grab.
Oh, this game's pretty old, right? Like, what, 6 years now? It's been around for a
Probably.
while. They keep pumping out different characters.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think 6 years. Maybe 5.
Maybe 5, yeah.
Because it came out while I was in Chicago. I remember everyone was playing... Because we would just play games where, when it originally came out, there was no limit on how many people on your team could play the same character.
Okay.
So we just play games where we're all May all day.
So it's 2016. That's 3 going on 4 years. It's not that old, actually. But
man, all May all day. It was fun. It'd just be 2 teams of Mays like ice walling each other into oblivion.
Okay.
And you were just killing each other's fun, but it was great.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it does look the visual upgrade is interesting.
It looks the same to me, but is there a visual upgrade as far as
maybe slightly? But it's also is this cinematic? I've been told that it has a visual upgrade. I don't know. It's hard to say. Lucio looks different.
I wonder, and this is like a fear from someone who has no idea as far as like the game itself, but like there's so many characters. Do they reach this point eventually where there's just like an overload of all these different options? Or is that what this community they want? They want this, almost like a fighting game, the ability to have all these different characters and the balance of that. But they're never quite going to balance out when you have that many characters. But
I think that for me, coming from a League of Legends background, to me, that is interesting to have all these characters and have... What the fuck was that? Was that...
Are they showing the story
skill
mode?
Tree in the single player? Oh, that's neat. But yeah, so coming from League of Legends background, I like that there were 100+ characters, and so because of that, you could never ever be comfortable in your strategy.
Gotcha.
You had to constantly be adapting. These characters are being nerfed, buffed. You had to master at least 3 characters, typically more.
To have them in your roster to kind of rotate. And
to be viable. You're trying to counter stuff. Now, it's a bit different, right? Because in League of Legends, you pick a character, you're stuck with it for the whole game. Whereas Overwatch has been legitimately designed where you're going to be changing characters throughout the match.
So is it just like a Call of Duty mode where you have your loadout, you just change it just like you would a character?
Yeah, but instead of a loadout, it's a character.
Gotcha.
Right. But yeah, I think that is a positive point to it, as long as they can keep it pretty well balanced.
That's a challenge, right?
Yeah. I think that's interesting. So that's their first I don't know. They put the big Canadian flag. I know it's their first Canadian map.
Why does Canada have such a big deal? Is it it's not developed there, right?
They haven't had a Canadian map yet.
But do they actually feature maps around the world or based on real world places? Okay.
The whole thing is like all different places of the world, but I hope
that's how I'm.
I don't want people confused about that because Farah, who's the Valkyrie character, is half Canadian native.
Okay.
So I hope there's no confusion over that. With
do we have a Mexican character on this thing?
They do. Reaper is Mexican.
Okay.
I think that might be the.
Gotcha.
Is there another Mexican character? I know Reaper is definitely Mexican, but he's also, he can be hard to tell because he has a very especially deep voice, and he's very dark skinned.
Gotcha.
So it's almost that like
where's it going kind of thing.
Right. So he almost comes across, but he's I believe Mexican, and I don't know who else.
Gotcha.
I feel like there's another one.
I didn't realize that they were kind of based on, or at least the characters had some kind of storyline lineage with the country. Like that's cool.
Right. Yeah. No. They really try to do different characters all over the world.
Gotcha.
And they did a pretty good job. From I think they've got every continent at this point.
Gotcha. That's how fully. Out of in the dark I am with this kind of thing. Like there's so much going on in every gameplay I've seen where I just go, okay, I'm too old for this. I'll see you later. Right. But I understand that it's a huge property. Like people love it. Right. For sure. But
it can be the one thing I think to me always holds it back is like watching like professional games of it. It just looks like just a bunch of explosions going on at once.
Yeah, a little bit.
And it's like I'll play it, but I don't watch it's like football. Like I'll play it, but I don't want to watch a professional game of it. That's not fun to me.
Yeah.
But,
or I guess what's daunting to me too is like I get the kind of first person shooter aspect of it. That's where I can kind of make sense of it. But you have all these players and all their abilities, so I gotta constantly like know, okay, they're doing this thing. I gotta be able to counter it with this, and I have no idea just going in. So I'm already just like I feel like it's too daunting.
And you're gonna get called a noob until.
Yeah. And now with the Switch players too, they're going to be kicking my ass, and it's just like
no, they're not. They're running at 2 frames per second less than you.
I see them running into walls and just like doing this.
So we're gonna cover World of Warcraft Shadowlands, and I know nothing about World of Warcraft.
Nor do I.
Nor about this expansion.
Gotcha. Well, we can just cover his little blurb here. So this is still Jonathan Dornbush of IGN. World of Warcraft Shadowlands and WoW Classic News. Blizzard confirmed the new World of Warcraft expansion, Shadowlands, with a new cinematic trailer at BlizzCon. In addition to the cinematic reveal that teases the story to come, Blizzard also unveiled gameplay of the Shadowlands expansion, offering an overview of the features to come. Meanwhile, World of Warcraft Classic is confirmed to be getting world bosses in a PvP honor system next month.
That's going to be a weird one. Like, how do you update Classic?
WoW Classic, yeah. I don't know. Will there be the same lines involved? Who knows? Right. Now there were some Hearthstone announcements.
This was an interesting one that I was very confused about.
Gotcha. So now this is some detail on it. Blizzard confirmed several new things for its Hearthstone community. The first is the Descent of Dragons expansion, which launches on December 10th. Mm-hmm. Blizzard also announced Hearthstone Battlegrounds, an 8-player auto-player mode that features 24 unique characters or heroes.
I don't understand how you have... So when I think auto-player, because I know like the design from this came from them playing too much auto chess.
That's the first thing I think of. Yeah, that Valve's or is it Valve or yeah.
Valve. So to me that makes I don't understand the concept of. So a card game, you're very like cautiously playing cards, and every move matters 2,000%. And in an auto chess style game, like it's still a lot of random and stuff with that. So I don't know what this is. Like my only thought, and I hope this is what it is, I'd like for it to be more like a deck builder as opposed to a CCG. But I doubt that's what I need to know more. If it were a deck builder, I would start playing Hearthstone right now.
Gotcha. What's the difference between a deck builder and a CCG?
A deck builder, you think like...
sounds like Home Depot talk to me. Sounds like we're in the drywall department and we're talking about...
I mean, really, I should just show you a deck builder so you understand. But I'm
already not interested in a deck builder because I don't like the card games, but...
No, you might like a deck builder because I don't like CCGs. I never liked... Despite the fact that I collected Pokemon cards back in the day.
Yeah.
I didn't like that aspect, that micromanaging, like making the perfect deck,
it's like dealing a Magic Gathering thing.
Magic the Gathering, Pokemon cards, Hearthstone, the new League of Legends thing.
What's the Witcher one? Is that a deck building?
That's a deck builder.
Okay,
right.
Gwent.
No. Sorry, that's a CCG.
Oh.
So you build your deck, you try and align it nice and neat, make this perfect deck that you're going to be able to defeat anyone else with.
Yeah.
Deck builder games, each side starts with the same exact deck.
Okay.
So it'll be like I have the one I play on my phone regularly is Star Realms. So you'll have...
Oh, you're a nerd.
Yep. You'll have 7 money cards and 3 damage cards.
Okay.
But there's a store.
Gotcha.
So you put down all your cards and you're like, okay, well, I have 3 money, so I'm going to buy this card worth 3 money, right? And that goes into your discard pile. And then when you go through all your cards, you reshuffle. And it just, throughout the match, so you both start out even.
Yeah.
But as the match progresses, you build your own strategy, and you're adapting to each other dynamically as the match goes on. Can you see what the other
person buys from the
Yes.
store? Gotcha.
So you're like, oh, you're trying to gain money, so I'm going to try and like kill you really quickly.
Gotcha.
Or you're making it so you draw a lot of cards per turn. I'm going to make it so I discard some of your cards per turn. So to me, it's less stress inducing because those CCGs where you're really agonizing over every single deck or every single card in your deck. Whereas this, you're just like, you know what, fuck it, we're gonna be done in like 30 minutes.
Is it faster process?
It's so much faster.
Gotcha.
So the one I play on my phone again is 10 minutes max.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're playing it with somebody, it maybe goes up to an hour because it does physically take time.
In between
to
doing your
deck.
taxes, you're playing this card game on your phone.
Yeah, I'll play it on my break at work, but I'll play with.
Think of other nerd things.
I will show you one of these days. You will have fun. You'll be like, oh, I'd play that, and then you'll go back to Hearthstone. and You'll be like, But it's like that's why I like Slay the Spire. That's what Slay the Spire is. It's a deck builder with. I mean, it has some CCG aspects of it, but it's mostly a deck builder.
I do on the surface of it. I like the idea of the. The aspect of you having to build, you start at the same starting point, and then you have to the strategy involved with like just building from there,
right?
And knowing what, and then seeing the moves that they can do, so you can calibrate because of that. I like that,
right? And that's
and I think for it, but I like
and that's part of the thing too. You can't be spending $1 bajillion to get a better deck than me.
Yeah,
you just we're both on the same level playing field.
Starting point, yep.
And then there's the what's it called, Keyforge, which is sort of the answer to that. Whereas you buy a deck and you're stuck with it. So you can't mix and match cards from your deck. You buy a deck, you're stuck with it, you play it, it's either good, they try to balance it, it's an interesting anything.
And that's just another like game type you could do with this kind of stuff. Or some games will do that.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
But we should keep going.
Gotcha. Well, Gavin, we've lost any female viewers that we could possibly gain, but
why?
I guess you're right. I gotta check myself, Gavin. It's just so nerdy.
Zombie Grub, if you're out there listening for that Blizzard news, which you're not.
I don't like that. Yeah.
Not Zombie Grub. Who was I thinking of? I mean, I take Zombie Grub.
All right, Gavin. Well, to finish this off, so Blizzard had to say something about the whole Blitzchung thing, and now this is also from Jonathan Orbush's same IGN article. President J. Allen Brack addresses the Blitzchung controversy. During his speech, Brack did not directly address the decision to suspend Blitzchung and the two Hearthstone casters. Instead, he called it a tough Hearthstone esports moment. Blizzard had the opportunity to bring the world together. This is a quote. Blizzard had the opportunity to bring the world together in a tough Hearthstone esports moment about a month ago, and we did not, Brack said during the BlizzCon opening ceremony. We moved too quickly in our decision, and then, to make matters worse, we were too slow to talk with all of you. Brack added, we will do better going forward, but our actions are going to matter more than any of these words. As you walk around this weekend, I hope it's clear how committed we are to people expressing themselves. Protesters assembled outside BlizzCon 2019 to support Blitzchung and democracy in Hong Kong. Inside the Anaheim Convention Center, BlizzCon didn't look too different than other years. So to end that, there was some criticism that there wasn't enough protesting, at least to really drum up the reception online. It seems like it just kind of the event happened and didn't really, bring as much controversy as we thought. But
did we expect anything different?
I did think some people were going to kind of rush the stage and whatever, Hong Kong, support Hong Kong, but we didn't get any of that. But
it's a bit sad that people got more upset over a Diablo mobile game.
Yeah, you're right. Last BlizzCon, that was the controversial thing that got their community in uproar. But and so that reminds me, there's this tweet I wish I had it ready to go, but it was someone on the Reddit forum with Blizzard that someone had screenshotted, and it was, hey, I deleted my account because of the Blitzchung controversy. It's hard to get my account re-enabled because I want to be ready to go for like the Blizzard or the Overwatch 2 stuff. How do I get my account back on? So they were commenting on how they deleted their account with to protest the Blitzchung thing, but they're ready to get their account back on after BlizzCon, after the announcement.
That's
so it's
not
like
much of a protest.
No, it just shows like there's no like loyalty. It's just like a lot of hoopla, and you can kind of, if you announce enough stuff, you get your community to just forget about it. The games, like the journalists won't forget about it, but I feel like players would forget about it.
Right.
But who knows?
No one's really that surprised.
No one wins in that scenario, but yeah.